Hey everybody, what's going on? It is Clip back with another MX Bikes Behind the Bars track review. So I had a really fun time with the last one, and I wanted to continue it again, but with kind of a different track today. This time we're going to be checking out Hill Valley, and honestly, Hill Valley was the very first track that I ever downloaded besides the default tracks that were on the game in the first place. So we're going to check it out. If you check out the link below, I will have the track link ready to go for you. So you can go and download that. And yeah, we're going to have a fun time. So let's just go into it. All right, so here we are at Hill Valley MX. First thing we're going to do, just a kind of a first things first, is we are going to go around the track, check out the environment before I go into first person and rip some laps. First and foremost, I really like this track. I like it a lot for the simple fact that it is beautiful. I love the surrounding area around the track. I love kind of just the environment, I guess, around it. The markers, the whole, like, the way the jumps are built and everything. I think this track as a whole is probably top 3 favorite tracks environment-wise for sure, and the way that it's built, it's quite up there as well with the setup of the whole thing. So yeah, we're just going to take a little lap around here in third person just to kind of show you what's going on. Yeah, just like look at the scenery. It is so nice. It's crazy how nice it is up here. I love it. I'm totally into it. So yeah, come up this hill here, and just the trees and everything around it, like it feels like almost real life. And again, there's something to be said about a track that not only has a good layout, but also has good scenery and things. So I am very much into that. So to the creators of this track, thank you so much for making the scenery just as good as the track is. So yeah, there's nothing really like secret here. I've gone beyond the boundaries and everything. There's no Easter eggs here or anything, but I mean, just the environment as a whole is just so freaking sweet. I love every bit of it. It feels like a foggy haze back in the background, and I'm totally into that. So yeah, I think we can rip some laps. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time checking out the environment because, I mean, you should check it out for yourself for sure. But if you can't check it out, I did want to take a quick lap around just to show you kind of what it looks like. It's kind of your standard, really pretty track with the pit area that looks super cool as well. So I'm going to go into first person, and the scenery is going to get just as good as it was in third person, if you ask me. So yeah, we are going to start ripping some laps here. I love these rollers coming in uphill because you can you can skyrocket on these for sure. Not really skyrocket, but you can go pretty fast on these old things. This double here is really nice too because I got some really cool gaps on it. So I'm into that for sure. Little rollers coming in here. All right. Again, if I get quiet during these, I'm sorry. I tried to get some music playing in the background here, so maybe that will help ease the awkwardness of silence whenever I'm ripping on the dirt bike. I don't know how well you can actually hear that, but we're trying, right? It's pretty fun here. You definitely don't want to overshoot that. I wish you could almost double that in, but it is what it is. It's kind of a speed check, I guess you could say, of sorts. Really love this uphill too because it's like you're flying way up here, I'm fourth pin basically, and then you come up and you can jump this whole hill upwards, and then this nice little double leading into the corner is just super nice. This track feels ridiculously flowy, and for tracks to feel flowy in this game is kind of a huge deal, honestly, because I mean, you want some flowiness to your track for sure. You don't want to just be on a dry, like, this kind of cookie cutter track sort of deal. So this track does an awesome job of being flowy. And I remember when I first downloaded it, I was not nearly as good as I am now at Sim, and I hated it. I hated it so much because, like, how are you going to do these gaps? Specifically this triple. Like, check this out. On a 250, you got to be hauling to get all the way over that triple. It's huge. But I remember when, you first start the game, you're sitting in third person, you're like, man, I don't think I like this track much because it's got a lot of big jumps that I hate because I can't do them. I can't do any of them. So I would say if you're a beginner, this track's still good, but do not try to go for the big lines for sure until you get better. This track ages very well. And the reason I say that, again, I started off playing this track when I first really started getting into the game, and it was even good then. I just kind of hated it because I couldn't hit all the big lines. Well, don't come into this as a beginner thinking that you can hit all these big lines. Just just kind of do the small ones first and work your way up. And it's still flowy either way. That's the thing I like about it. It's made for all levels. You don't necessarily have to go just extremely fast to really have fun on this track. And again, it gets pretty torn up too. Not as torn up as my last review on Dirt Park. You can also do that. You can also overshoot things and really just clap yourself on the face of jumps. But anyways, Dirt Park to me is probably one of the roughest downloaded tracks I've ever ridden on. That was my last review. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. I feel like it's one of the less popular tracks that are on the forums, but should not be, honestly, because you can really, really fly on this track. This one, however, I feel like is pretty popular because of the timing that it came out. It came out at the time whenever the betas were really starting to get super good. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was one of the very first tracks to come out on MX bikes that wasn't just a default track. Could be wrong, and if I'm totally wrong, I'm sorry, but again, it was just one of the first ones that I saw, at least, on here, so I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, so it really does just kind of, with time, it really ages well. So I'm appreciative of that. You can start out when you're a beginner, come on this track, do some ripping around, still have fun, and then you can come back later on when you get better on in the game and come back and really rip some laps on it. I mean, you can fly on this track, not like I'm doing right now, but you can go a lot faster than I am on this track for sure. But from my first-person view, this track is really, really brilliant. I think that the lines are cut in very well. There are some tracks on this game that I've noticed that unless you have changed your first-person view, I'm not going to get over this triple, so I'm not even going to try. But I feel like there are on some of the tracks where they were really kind of, I guess, third-person driven, to where you really needed to be on third-person to see the next jump after the corner you were just in. So it's important to me to have a track that you can see everything in first-person view. Now, of course, you can get used to those tracks that have kind of the blind corners by just learning the track, and that's what I've done. Specifically, Abandoned MX is what comes to mind, which, again, I think that might be my next track review after Hill Valley, but I definitely wanted to add in Hill Valley as one of my first behind the bars, for sure, on MX bikes, because it is just a brilliant, really fun track, and I enjoy everything about it. Really, it's got good flow to it. It's got good jumps. The jumps are built very well. And again, I mean, I don't know how much more I can emphasize of how good the track is just built, because it really is. It's just a really nice flowy track. And again, I wish that this track would get a little more torn up, because I do notice on this track it does not get as torn up as some of the others. Specifically, I'm thinking of, like the replica tracks of the Pro Motocross series. Those get pretty dang torn up. Those get really torn up. I'm thinking of Dirt Park as well, and a few others. So this one, it seems like, does not get torn up as much as others, and I think, again, this just comes down to what the track creator wants, which, again, if I could add anything, if there was any sort of, I guess, I wish there was this, it would be the track deformation. I wish that this had a little bit more deformation on it than what it has right now. But again, I can't complain too much. This is a really brilliant track. It's built very well, and when you got that, I mean, it's just other things that you could have and couldn't have, and it is what it is. I'm okay with it. So I'm running 226 right now. I know I've ridden, I think it's in the 218s probably on this track. I don't remember, to be honest with you, but it's probably not as good as what other people are watching can do. So I'm doing the best that I can. I don't know. I'm trying. So I'll try to put in a good lap here and see where we end at, just because I know that everybody likes to see it. That's not going to be the lap. This isn't going to be it. Maybe the next one. But I know that everybody likes to see a fun heater lap, so I will do that as best as I can if I'm feeling it. I'm feeling kind of okay on the game debate today. You really, you have certain days where you feel good on this game, and others that you just don't. Your flow is not coming to you. Feels like real life for sure, because I know when I go riding, there are days that I feel really great, that I'm just clearing everything, that everything's really flowing well, and other days that I'm just not feeling it. I can be clearing stuff, but I feel like my overall speed just isn't there. And this is what I really like about MX bikes, is I feel like it captures that aspect of dirt bike riding to a T. I mean, really, because you can have days that you're doing super well, and then other days you just feeling like crap because you can't can't do anything. You can't go fast. And I'm on an average day right now, I feel like, on the game. So I will do as best as I can to do as much as fast laps as I can. So I'll spin a few here, just kind of showing you the terrain and try to tear it up just a little bit just to see how much deformation we can get on here. But I know it's not going to be much. Again, I've ridden a good amount of laps on here. So I definitely want to do these reviews as quick as I can when tracks come out. Again, I started this series kind of late with the game, but I know that people have been enjoying it. Everybody who's been commenting, I really, really appreciate you. Please continue to do that for sure. And, you know, if you're not subscribed and you're liking MX Bikes content, please do. I'm not going to just exclusively do MX Bikes content. I need to make that known for sure. I am going to play other games while I'm on here. You know, I haven't quite made for sure just yet, but I did want to have a continuous series going on a game, and MX Bikes is the one because it's really up and coming, and I knew that a track review kind of series would be great for MX Bikes. So that's what I'm doing for y'all, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it for sure, because I know I am, and I know that the feedback has really been helping me drive to want to keep doing this. So definitely keep giving me that feedback. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. But again, it's all up to you. I'm not going to force you to subscribe, but hey, it'd be cool if you would. And also, while you're at it, I am on Twitch. I haven't been on there in a few days. Just been busy. I'm preparing for a wedding coming up on September 19th. I'm literally, when I post this, I'm hoping to post this today, but as of right now when I'm recording it, I'm 17 days away from being a married man, and I am overjoyed but also terrified at the same time. So that's why I think some of my content has taken a little while, and this to me feels like the easiest to do, a series where we have, you know, MX Bikes, and I feel like it's easy for me to record this and just kind of relax and chill. There's no pressure. It's easy to edit. That's a big deal too. As anybody knows that posts stuff on YouTube, the editing thing can get to be really stressful. So MX Bikes for me, I can just sit down, record, edit it real quick, and I got some royalty-free music playing in the background now that I found, and it's not anything heavy metal too crazy that would just be like, what is going on in the background? It's just some chill music that I found. Have no idea who these artists are, so thank you to the artist if you're watching this and you hear your song. It is in the background. It's probably drowned out a little bit by the bike sound, but I didn't want it also to drown out the bike sound, vice versa, you know? So that's why I kept it a little quiet. But yeah, so we're getting better at this track review series of Behind the Bars, and I will continue to get it better as much as I can. If there's any suggestions that any of you have, I would love it. I would absolutely love to hear it, and I know that personally for me, it's kind of comforting just to watch somebody rip around the track, so that's what I kind of wanted to recreate for all of you, was to rip around the track and just have you all be chilling out, hanging out, whatever you're doing right now. If you're doing homework, you know, I know the whole school deal is going crazy with all the shutdowns that we're having and everything. This year has been really weird, but hey, if I can help you kind of just relax and chill and you can watch me rip on some MX Bikes, gosh dang it, I'm going to do it. So that's what I'm doing here, and just helping you all out for sure. All right, let's see what kind of lap we drove on this one. Actually, that would have been the lap beforehand, so that one won't be very good. So we got to do another heater so we can check out what we did on the lap previous to this one we're on now. So let's check it out. We're going to go up this hill and just cinder real big. I really, really enjoy this game, and the whips. The whips are so good, even in first person. And dude, Piboso, such a great way to capture it. I think the first person on this game and the whips wise, it just feels so good. You're whipping, and you can tell. You know, I gotta say, for MX Bikes, first person for me is the top game of all time in a motocross game ever for first person. You know, comparable, I guess, kind of comparable is MX versus ATV All Out. I played All Out for quite some time, and its first person was surprisingly good. I hated third person. It felt really robotic and really bad. But you get into first person and it felt good, but still, the thing that was lacking was the whips. The whips were awful. I have to say it. I did not like the whips on MX versus ATV All Out. I think first person was great and made the game a lot different, a lot better. However, I also think that too many things were kind of just, I guess, dinky. But it is an arcade game. I can't knock it too much for what it is. But I definitely don't like throwing whips in first person on MX versus ATV All Out, because it just does not feel right at all. All right, we're keeping her going here. We're just We're having a fun time. Hopefully this... Oh, we're good. No, we're not, man. Dang it. You know, the one place in the track that seems to get me sometimes are those rollers, and I hate that, man. I don't know why it's always the rollers, but it is. If I ever have any trouble on the track, it's these rollers for sure. All right, so we got to complete this lap just to see what we're doing. I'll probably take another couple of laps. I don't want the video to be way too long, but I also don't want it to be way too short. So I'm just putting in a pretty good amount of laps just for y'all to hang out with me for a little bit and check out what Hill Valley really is. And so as you can see, the deformation, I mean, it's there, but it's not. It's not huge on this track, and that's just fine, you know? Not every track has to be absolutely rough like every other track in the game. It would get kind of repetitive, right? Let's check out what we did on that one. 217. I'm down for that for sure. I know I could get faster, but we'll take it. Anyways, the deformation doesn't have to be crazy on every single track you go to. I was ripping around Hill Valley with some buddies. You know, a couple of us were going around, actually 3 of us to be exact, and we had an open lobby, which I'll be doing a lot more on Twitch. So if you haven't checked me out on Twitch, I have the same username on here as I do everywhere else. So it's just ClipClep. Find me, and we can hang for sure. But anyways, I really enjoy tracks that have diversity and don't have to be like every other track in the game. And this would be one of them when it comes to deformation. I think the track creator decided, I don't really need that much deformation, so I'm just going to stay away from that a little bit. And that's what he did, and great. That's just fine. What the heck? Scenery change, wardrobe change. Sorry, everyone. I had to leave in the middle of that video, and I waited a day. And so I had to come back and finish the, I guess, outro. So thank you all so much for joining me for this rendition of Behind Bars Track Walk series. Had a lot of fun with Hill Valley. It is one of my favorites. Download link will be in the description below as always. So if you want to download this track for yourself, check it out. Such a great idea. I absolutely love Hill Valley. It was such a fun time. I hope you had as much fun as I did. So yeah, next one's coming up soon. So just keep an eye out, and we'll see you later.